Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. It is Jill with Under Cottonwood, and it's Tuesday night, so that means it's time to make something beautiful, right? It's time for Tutorial Tuesday. So tonight I am designing the second Hobby Lobby find that I found in the spring sale. And I saw something the other day that now the spring sale is like 90% off. So anyway, I found this adorable little I don't know if you call it a planter. It's just called like wall decor, but obviously we're going to turn it into some sort of little hanging arrangement piece. But I thought it was so cute. This was like the middle size. I think there was a smaller one and then a bigger one. But tonight I am making this into kind of a neutrally fall design. I'm pretty excited about that. I'll probably use it myself, actually, to tell you the truth. But I was trying to piece together what I really wanted to do with it, and I found these cute little white pumpkins from another project that I had probably last year. And so it was like, that is it. This is what we're doing with this cutie. So let me show you what I got. Okay, obviously this, I really don't know what to tell you as far as size-wise. This is probably like about 10 inches wide, I guess, or so, and probably like a 10 by 5 little container area. So I really don't know. You would probably use these, honestly, without anything in them, maybe as a little bit of a design, but I'm using mine for arrangement. So that's what I got going on there. Now, I'm going to use some mesh in my design tonight. I'll show you how to do this. It just kind of makes it look fuller. And so that way, if you don't have a whole lot of supplies, this is a really great way to fill and yet give it some texture and things like that. And I love the fact that since this is kind of that galvanized, we're going to soften it up with some lighter colors and some other texture. So there's that. And of course I got the white pumpkins. And I told you a couple weeks ago, don't sleep on the flowers at your local Dollar General if you have one, which, they're everywhere, literally. So I'm sure you probably have one somewhat close to you. But anyway, so I found these pretty little, I think these are probably supposed to be dahlias, but they're kind of a really light off-white. They're not like white, kind of with the same with my pumpkin. So these aren't like bright white by any means. A little bit yellowy, but I like it for fall. So and then this pretty little grass. So I was like, this is perfect. So we're gonna put all of this together. I had one little pick left from last week, so we may throw it in there just to kind of add a little bit more color to our browns and creams. But anyway, that's what I got going on tonight. So say hi when you get here, and I'm gonna get to work on designing this pretty little arrangement. So first things first, I have cut my floral foam here. So I had just a little square, so I just cut it into 2 different pieces. I'm gonna get this hot glued down into the bottom here. So I want it to kind of set like that. Now, you could go ahead and add a couple more to the sides. I'm really not worried about it. It's gonna be covered up by everything else that we're putting in there. So I don't think you have to worry about getting it totally covered with this foam. I think this is gonna be enough for what we've got going on. So, okay, I've got my hot glue gun over here. So what I'm gonna do is kind of tricky because it's round, wobbling all over the place, but I'm just gonna put some hot glue here on the bottom and then get this piece down in here. I want it to be as fairly centered as I can get there. Oh, out of glue. Can you believe that? Running out of glue. Okay, so I want to try to give these a press and a hold for a minute. And then I'll probably even put a little hot glue on the sides and on the back just to kind of help keep it nice and secure. I did bring out the moss tonight, so I'm going to cover it a little bit. I kind of talked about how that was an option last week in our pretty little wheelbarrow. If you wanted to cover, I'm just going to try to get those down in the little crack along the back part and then on the front. Kind of just hold that in a little bit more. But okay, so what I was saying is I brought the moss out, and I'll show you what I mean to cover this up a little bit. Again, I think we're gonna have so many things in it that it's really not gonna matter. But I talked about it last week and I didn't really show you. So I'll show you what I meant by that. So this is like the Spanish moss from, you know, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, some place like that, nothing fancy. And all you have to do is take a little bit of it. This is simply if you want to cover your foam thinking that maybe it might show through on your arrangement. So you just take your hot glue and go over the top. This one is going to be a little bit easier because really, honestly, the top part is probably the only place you're going to have to put it. And then you just kind of put that moss there to cover up your foam. Now, if this was a project that you could see the sides, you might want to go like along the sides too of the foam and cover that up. But like I said, I'm just gonna put a little along the top and call it good because I really don't think we would have needed it anyway, but just in case. There's that. I'll grab another little handful. Got that on there. So there you go. So now whenever you look at our project, even with all the goodies, you won't see that green moss. There might be a little bit here, but let's just put a little hot glue and stretch it over. So, okay. So that is a very simple little trick to hide that. And now we are ready to get started with adding all of our pretties into it. Okay, so the first thing that I said that I had was this, actually I don't even know if I told you, but I have this cream and white striped burlap. So this is like from Michael's. I picked, well, this is like neutrally, it's kind of the cream and like taupey color. But adding something like this, when you have this like dark galvanized thing, just kind of helps soften it a little bit, since it kind of, you know, has the metal look. But I have a tendency to like the like neutrally kind of colors too, especially for fall. So I just thought it would look pretty with our little white pumpkins and flowers. So that's kind of what I got going on. So I'm gonna cut probably 3 of these. So let me just show you here. So I just kind of stretch it out. I don't know, what do you think that is? Maybe like 10 inches or so? And you can always cut it down if it's too much. So I'll just cut 3 little strips of that. Then here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to take, remember I told you I saved like all of these random, like look, those are just like, I don't know, some sort of sticks. And a piece like this. So then I got my little trusty pipe cleaner here. I'm gonna cut it up. So there's a couple different ways that you can fold this mesh. You know, if you've worked with mesh before, or if you haven't, maybe, it has a tendency to fray on the sides. Like, I can kind of show you. Maybe, see, it just kind of starts to fray. So, it's going to do that no matter what. So, if you have a project that has mesh on it, just know that it's going to fray no matter what. But if you want to kind of help avoid that, there's a couple different things you can do. You can roll these two, trying to do this in the camera here, roll this in and kind of roll it up like that, and so then that way it'll kind of keep the inside, or that frayed part to the inside, so that'll kind of help prevent any of the fraying, or not any, it's still going to, but it's going to prevent most of it. So you can try it like that. The other thing is to kind of take your mesh and you can pinch it together like this, and you're gonna kind of use it as like a bow, and then it'll just kind of have the outsides where they might not be quite as susceptible as fraying. Like, you just would never want to leave it like totally bare, I guess I would say, because that's really gonna make it like prone to fraying. So anyway, let's do it this way tonight. Well, you could actually roll it totally like in a roll like that too, but I just like kind of the look of a little bit thicker. So I'm just gonna kind of roll the sides in, and so it's gonna kind of be like this, okay? So then I'm gonna take my, nobody's home tonight but me and the dog, and of course she's gonna be the one to bark, right? So I'm gonna take my little piece of pipe cleaner and just twist it around one little time, and then I'm gonna use my little stick here. These are just extra pieces that I've like cut off of something else, but I didn't throw them away because I like to save everything. So I'm gonna do the same thing with that, just kind of pinch it around that. That way, this will let me stick this down into our foam. So I'll put a little dab of glue here, just kind of hold it in place, and then I will work on these two. Okay, same thing. Pinch it together, got my little pipe cleaner there. I'm just gonna twist it up, twist it around that. This one looks like a skewer of some sort, so who knows where I got that little wooden piece from, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm rolling those in, and then just kind of pinching it in the middle. So I'm hitting it right there where the pipe cleaner was on the top and bottom, just to kind of secure it a little bit more. And there you have it. Those are ready to be kind of used as a pick. So how about that? Okay. So let's go for this. So I'm just gonna kind of literally go like left, right, center sort of thing. This one, let's just start right in the middle. Now I probably gonna hit the bottom of this with a little hot glue. Okay. Same thing on this one. Same thing on the last one. Now it might look kind of weird right now. I know. I'll show you. I'll show you why I choose to use it. It's gonna be cute. Okay, so there's that. Now you can kind of work them around, get it going however you want, because obviously you still want to be able to see, you know, your pretty little metal part of it. You don't want to kind of hide that totally, but that just kind of makes it look really full. And then as we start putting all of our different little picks and things in there, it's just going to mesh really good together. So, okay, so there's that. We've got the burlap out of the way, or the mesh out of the way, I mean. And let's start with our flowers. So our flowers are going to be first, just because those are kind of going to be like the main focal point. And then all of these other little things, like this was the little sprig I had left over from last week, and these little things, those are all just gonna be filler things. So we're gonna start with our 3 main flowers. Like I said, if you didn't hear me earlier, don't sleep on Dollar General flowers. They're like this little set of 3 was $3, pretty little flowers. I thought they looked pretty good for fall too. So I'm gonna kind of do the same thing with my flowers. I'm gonna go right in the middle. Okay. And then, oh, I was like, where'd they go? Now I'm saving these. So I cut off the green leaves, but I'm gonna save those because we're gonna use them. I'm just cutting this stem off, and then I'm cutting the flower off. So I just want them for right now. I'm just hitting the ends with a little hot glue. Okay. we've got our flowers in there. So see how it's already kind of starting to fill in pretty good. And this was kind of a tiny little thing. So this is gonna be a fairly nice sized little piece once we get all of our other goodies in there. Nice and full, I guess I should say. So, okay, now there's a couple things. I was have every intention of using this little greenery. So let me just show you. We'll cut this in half again. Now, if you look at the stems on these, anytime you get something like this, they'll have little spots like, I don't know, that little spot right there. That's always kind of a good indicator of where you can cut these. Makes it a little bit easier. So I like to take these leaves and use them separately because they'll be too long for most pieces, you know, when you're trying to like put your pick down in. But you want to put them really close to the flower so that it looks like, you know, that the leaf is still attached essentially. So see, you just put that right under there, but it's two separate pieces. So one, I think it helps it make it look a little bit more real. As opposed to like shoving this whole piece down in there, and then you might lose being able to see that leaf and that sort of thing. So, and sometimes I don't like the color of leaves that come on flowers like in the little pick like this. And so I'm always happy to cut those off and throw that part away and not use it, because sometimes the green is like just kind of an off color. So I'm glad that you kind of have that option to cut them up if you don't want to use it. So, okay, again, just hitting them with hot glue, and I'm just going right up under the flowers. See, it still looks like it's attached there, that it's all one piece. And for this one, I think I'm just going to use this piece on this last flower, and then I'll just kind of have the piece that was actually for that, will just kind of be extra, but I don't really think I need anything over there. For now, anyway. I'll set that aside. Okay, so here's what we've got so far. So we put our, the floral foam down into this little galvanized little tin, hot glued that in, covered it with our moss so you can't see our foam. We've got this pretty little mesh, and then these flowers and their leaves. So now we're ready to just kind of make it a little bit extra. So I'm gonna start with, what should we start with? We got pumpkins, got, like I said, this little pick from last week, and then this pretty little, I think we'll start with this, because this is probably gonna be a little bit taller than everything else, and then we'll fill in with the pumpkins from there. So now, I'm not going to use these pieces. You could, but I'm not really sure how they are attached to this piece. So I'm really trying to just get this grass. I guess you would call it grass. So I'm just going to cut this off. Now, we'll probably cut that in half. Poke myself in the face with that stuff. So let's just cut off a few of these here. Okay, let's get started with that and see how that does. So, okay, as always, I want to kind of start, what did I do? I cut off 4 different pieces. Okay. I am going to cut this in half, I think, because this, I don't know. Let's try it. I was thinking that was going to be too tall for this little project, but we want a couple of them kind of tall, so I'm going to try it. I'm going to hit the bottom of it with some hot glue, and let's go right in the middle. If I can. Let's see how we do. It's probably pretty good. Okay. So maybe we'll keep a couple of these really long, and then we can cut up some of the other ones, and it'll just give us that much extra. Come on. I have those little silicone finger things that you put over your finger so that you don't burn yourself with hot glue. But Do you think I know where they're at? No, I don't. No idea. I think I used them like a ton in the beginning, right after I got them, and just got out of the habit. And now, like I said, I don't even know where they're at, so. Okay, so those are all kind of along the back. So let's go ahead. I'm going to cut this one in half now. So those were all, you know, the whole pieces. I'm going to cut this one in half. Stretch that out here. So that one's significantly shorter, and I'll kind of use it more towards the front. So we've got some of that kind of hanging out there now. So that looks cool. Here's what I've got so far. Okay, let's kind of hang with that and add some of our pumpkins and other things in, and then we'll see if we need to. I think I've got a couple more strands of those here if we need to use those, but let's go for some pumpkins. So now I always, well, not always, depending on what project, but these big long stems, you usually always cut them in half, but I guess it does depend on what you're using. But I'm going to kind of do the same thing here. I'm going to kind of, I've been using, you know, 3 or odd numbers of everything. I had 3 pieces of the mesh. I had 3 big flowers, and then I have got 5 of these little brown spriggy things here, 3 in the back, 2 in the front. So I'm going to kind of try to keep that pace going with the pumpkins, but I want some in the middle that are a little bit taller. I'm going to kind of start with it like so, okay? And then this has got a little shorter piece, got a few more pumpkins on it, so I'm going to kind of use it here on the sides. Look at that, look at those cutie little pumpkins. So let's go for this, and I want, no, I'm going to cut this piece. One more strand of 3 to put on the other side. So look at that. Look how cute. Okay, looking pretty cute. So last but not least, I had that one little see some hearts and some likes, so that's good. You guys are liking it. I have this one little sprig, this little pick from Walmart that was part of, if you didn't see the wheelbarrow from last week, you gotta go check it out because it's super cute. I don't think you can see, oh yeah, there it is. I was like, I think it's up there on my buffet somewhere, but yes, so it's super cute. But we made that with a lot of these, and these are just from Walmart. But they're great little $1.38 picks. So, oh, you can't see it, but super cute. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, I was like, I thought my phone was dying or something. I don't know if it looked like that to you guys or not, but it just dimmed like how your phone, when it looks when it's dying. So, okay, I'm gonna pull apart this whole thing. Oh, well, I pulled that way apart. Pulled these little suckers straight off here, so let me get them back on. Okay, so there's that, and they make it, you know, pretty simple. It's just tied with this floral tape, so not hard to pull apart each individual section. Especially like if you did watch the wheelbarrow from last week, there was this one little weird berry sprig in the stuff that I had, and it's like, I am not using that. It just was kind of strange. So luckily, in something like this, you can just pull it all apart, or even if you can't pull it apart, cut those things out that you know that you don't want to use, and use what you do like. So don't let it stop you from buying the whole thing. Okay, so like for instance, I'm probably not going to use that one, but I like the green and the kind of cream of these pieces, so this is what we're going with. And these have good stems on them, so there you have it. Okay, So now I'm just gonna hit these with hot glue and kind of start placing them around, sneaking it here up under these flowers and into our foam. Okay, so add that one. This little greenery pick over here. Oh, come on. Okay. Totally simple project, but totally cute. Ah, super pretty. I'll have to hold it up here in just a minute once I get this one in so you can see all of it. So I'm kind of sticking with, I want this here in the middle to be a little the tallest point, and just a little extra there in the middle. So now I didn't bring out any ribbon tonight. I know, shocker, right? But I didn't grab any ribbon, but you could definitely add a pretty little fall ribbon. I did look for some because I had some at one point in time that had white pumpkins on it, and I thought that would be really pretty, but I couldn't find it anymore. So I just went without it. So, but you could add a pretty little bow or something to this, and that would be super cute. But this is so pretty. Like, I can think of a couple different places that I might use it. I have a hook right outside my front door on my porch where you could put a sign or something like that. At the moment, I don't have anything up there. So that is a place where you could put it outside. It would kind of be sheltered a little bit. So if you had something like that, now you could use this. This would be a great piece for someone who lives, like maybe a grandma or aunts or cousins, or you know, just a friend or something that lives in like the little assisted living places where they kind of, their apartments typically have like a smaller door or something like that. This is probably, if it doesn't go outside, which I don't know, might or might not, this might set on a shelf. That would be a really great option. You wouldn't have to hang it by any means. You could set it somewhere, or you could use this as a hanger and, you know, hang it from different places in your house. It'd be really pretty on a pantry door. Like if you have a little door hanger on the inside on like your pantry, or maybe even like a bathroom door or something like that on a smaller inside door. But there is what we've got. Super pretty. Got those white, I really think they're supposed to be dahlias, which bloom about now. So here's the back of it. You've got a couple sprigs in there, but either way, if you were gonna lay it flat, they would just kind of stand up a little bit more, or if you just stand it up, you're just gonna kind of see those everywhere. But I really think that the color kind of helps contrast with this metal, and the texture of that mesh definitely kind of helps soften everything up too. So anyway, I love it. Like I said, I'm probably gonna keep it for myself, but I think it's super pretty. And if you're like me, I like kind of the neutral scene for fall and things. It's not the bright oranges. Not that I don't like orange and things like that for Halloween and different things, but I definitely think the neutrally colors are a really great option. They're nice and pretty and soft. So there we have it. That was super simple. Like what? That was 30 minutes in the making of this little project. So I think I was going to tell you, this came from Hobby Lobby. So this is part of their spring sale. I know it sounds crazy, but I kid you not, it was part of the spring shop that was 60% off last week, and now it's 90% off. So you might catch it if you still have it. Of course, a floral foam, you can get that anywhere, Michael's, Walmart, Hobby Lobby. The burlap that I used, well, so let's see. We covered up our floral foam with this moss. Again, you can get that anywhere. Burlap, this is like a creamy neutral one. I think this was from Michael's. And the pumpkins, I really am not sure where I got those. They were last year. But just any kind of like fun little fall sprigs that you find at the store, because everything is out already. would look really pretty. And then the dahlias in these little picks were from Dollar General. So don't forget to swing by that aisle when you're there and check it out. So super pretty. That is our project for tonight. So hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you make something of your own. And don't be afraid to try something different, because it usually turns out good. So thanks for joining me. I will see you guys next week. Have a great night. Bye.